Aloha mudaku ape. Wambali paha na wakapa washte oyanke awati. Minikoju Unchimitawa Georgia Gunville Imachiapi. Washichu ye Chloe Gunville Imachiapi. Dona yahi tokapi ki iuha chante washte nape chuza yapi Kristo. Hello, my relatives. I am from the Cheyenne River Reservation in Eagle Butte, South Dakota. I am Minikoju Lakota. My grandmother is Georgia Gunville. My English name is Chloe Gunville. To all of you gathered here, I shake your hand with a good heart. To describe what it is like with socialization on the reservation and how it influences the ways in which I chose to decolonize. I would like to address that first, you must always introduce yourself by where you're from, who you belong to, who raised you, your native name or English name, and expressions of gratitude towards those you were speaking to. This is customary for our nation and others when addressing the community. Growing up on the Cheyenne River Indian Reservation in South Dakota is so different from the outside world. My community has unspoken rules in how we learn to treat each other, but I also do not want to romanticize and minimize the hurt that plagues us. As a Native person, you're born grieving, and this is the story of walking in both worlds and how it began for me. The expectations of the reservation were always different. My education downplayed my identity as a Lakota woman, and I always understood what had happened to us as a nation, but never in the depth to the degree that I found when I left my homelands. It's hard for me at times to know where to start because majority of the time I am the only Native person someone gets to encounter. Majority of the Native populations live in urban areas. So my perspective is unique in that I get to live and grow up on the reservation. I grew up one of the oldest of 5, and traditionally the oldest was raised by their grandparents. I was lucky to have my grandmother to guide me in being a good relative. And this is one of the main socializations of my community that constantly challenged by the dominant society. My grandmother went to boarding school at St. Stephan in South Dakota, and because of this, I grew up going to Catholic church. This narrative is not uncommon in boarding school attendees and their descendants. I didn't see myself as a poor little Indian that needed saving. In fact, I didn't even realize I was poor. The idea of attaining this huge amount of wealth was not a thing in my home. It was not a thing to wear designer or discuss the lack of money because a lot of people didn't have money. Capitalism was not at the forefront. The measures of success were different. It matters how you treat people. I grew up on my grandma's hip, and we went all over the reservation visiting her friends and family. In doing that, I learned that you can never go to someone's house and not accept what they offer you. It's offensive. You also must carry gifts with you when you travel to give away to those that help you along in your journey. The ways in which you show respect are different. I did not realize there was a price on visiting people. Off reservation, you're expected to visit people with the intent to spend money. It's almost as if you can't just exist in a space without having to have value. I did not know that people didn't just go around visiting each other just because. There was always some sort of transaction that needed to be made. Describing my family, it's hard to tell non-natives what that dynamic looks like. My uncles are like my father, my aunties are like my mothers, my cousins are my cousins. I don't know what a twice removed cousin means. The dynamic of family within my culture is so much closer and interwoven. Any of my grandmother's friends that were her age or older were considered my grandma or grandpa. This means there's a lot of celebrations, but also many funerals to attend, as well as not being able to walk into the local gas station without knowing somebody. We even celebrate different holidays as a tribe, dates that are relevant to our history. We have our own constitution, which is why I never had a President's Day. I only knew Chiefs Day as a day of recognition for former chairmen and chiefs of the Lakota Nation. We celebrate the Battle of the Little Bighorn as Victory Day on June 25th. We celebrate Thanksgiving, but we call it Turkey Day. Our new year lines up with the new moon, and it does not start on January 1st. This is just an example of some of the different holidays we honored. Also, if someone is held in high regards in our tribe, the tribe will release work early or grant leave to those who want to attend those services. Ways in which I do my part in socializing students is by honoring my own values and teachings, understanding that the value of my culture is not determined by the outside world and its ideas of what it means to be successful. Our tribe has an annual event called Culture Camp. It's a week in the summer that is dedicated to K-12 students, and during that time, various members of the community come together to bring their traditional knowledge and teach it to the students. We always start off with our traditional prayers and teachings while exchanging this knowledge. That way, the values are still taught through those experiences. I understand my privilege in my experiences, and I accept the responsibility I owe to my people and nation to honor my ancestors and the life I was given through the process of decolonizing my mind and my reality. My existence is resistance.